Yeah, so thank you for coming, everyone. On a Friday night, you can be anywhere, you can be doing anything, you do many things. You came to Jamming, it's a really nice day. Really glad you came. So 21, changing the game forever. The talk is about the mind, and I'm trying to figure out, do we think we're fully in control of our mind? Like, do we think we're fully in control of what clothes we're wearing today, what we ate for breakfast? You know, it's a very simple thing, but I want to know if you're fully aware of all the decisions you're making, and it's all up to you. So I've got a little exercise, but I need a volunteer. I've been practicing this trick for about 2 days now, and it's about a 60% hit rate. So, who wants to be a volunteer? Anyone? No, I asked me. Someone at 6'4". Anyone else? Okay, we can do it twice. Christian. Actually, no, but that one works. I know this person. I'll find it out. Can you try it around? I'm gonna, what's gonna happen now? Can everyone see? Or does everyone see? Okay, I want you to choose a card, any card. But the idea of this is that I'm gonna be able to figure out your mind. Okay, just by looking at you. Now I can influence your mind and take thoughts out of it. If I can do that. No. Okay, so I just want you to point to any card you want. You want that card, yeah? You sure you want that card? Which one? This one, yeah? You sure, yeah? Okay. Yeah? Can everyone see it?
Yeah.
Don't say it, don't say it.
No.
Okay, well, Prabhu can say it. Yes, yeah? Okay, now you have to go to that table. And don't show me the card. Down. Okay, so now we're going to do an exercise whereby I'm going to ask you 3 questions. 2 questions. You're going to have to write the answers down. Okay? So, yeah, certain things. So the first one is, who is your favourite celebrity? And I'm also going to write the answer down at the same time. And once you've written the answer, put it in this mug. I can have another volunteer to be the judge. What's the name, sorry?
Hannah.
Come on. So just stand next to Ravi. Yeah. Okay. So I've written mine. Yeah. Now I'll punch it up. Now I just like you to share with the crowd what your favourite celebrity was.
Share with them?
Yeah, just tell it.
I picked David Beckham, just because I'm using that.
Great. Okay. So now the second question is, okay, Ravi, is there any way I would know your favourite celebrity is David Beckham?
No.
Okay, great. Now my second question is, what's your house number or your house name? Is there any way I'll know that? Do I know you that well? We haven't practiced anything, have we?
No.
Okay, so your house number or your house name?
It's
You're planning it. Okay? You've written it down. Can you scrunch it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it in. Okay, so I'll do the same. Come on, yeah? Okay, now, I would like you to write down the name of your card. No, wait, so before you do that, you have to share with the crowd your house name and your house number.
8. This is the house number.
Right. Now you write the card, the suite and the type. Okay, so I've done that as well. Yeah? So now, hang on. Can you open my 3 pieces of paper and check if they're right? And just read them out as you open them. That's the house number. Oh.
David Beckham.
Oh. The last one.
Jack of Hearts.
And can you review your card? So, that little trick showed that I could get into his mind and take out thoughts. Didn't even believe I actually could get into his mind and take out thoughts. But after the talk, you'll see that that is actually possible. So, many times we think we're fully in control. There's one example, there was one time when there was a club, and it's a very posh club. So the way you enter into this club is you need a password. So you go up to the bouncer, and the bouncer will tell you a number, you say a certain word, and you have to respond in a certain way to get in. So the first, but there was a guy who doesn't have the password, but he wants to get in. So he started watching all these people getting in, he was trying to figure out code. So the first guy came up, and the bouncer said to him, the bouncer said 6. So the guy said 3, and the guy got in. The second guy came up, the bouncer said 12, the guy said 6, and he got in. So the guy watching is like, okay, it's really obvious what the password is. What do you think it is? Half a number, yeah? So then the guy goes in and the bouncer says 10. So what should he say? He should say 5, according to this theory. So he says 5, but then the bodyguards come and take him away. So this guy thought he had it down, he thought he knew the idea completely. But then he's really confused, why is he getting taken to prison now because he's not allowed in this club? And so the guy says, the answer isn't that fact that you half the number, it's you say how many letters are in that word. So when he said 6, when the bouncer said 6, the guy said 3. When the guy said 12, the guy said, so like that, when he said 10, he should have actually said 3. So often like that, we think we know what's going on because we can see a few instances and we can try and understand, we know the whole thing. Does that make sense? No. Alright, we'll go. So I've got a little exercise that I need another volunteer for. Anyone? Anyone? Okay, Akash. I need anyone got a cool phone, like a smartphone? Can we borrow a smartphone? We don't want to damage anything. Okay. Now, can you put this blindfold on? So you can't see anything. Can you see anything? Can you see how many fingers are holding up? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Do you have another volunteer? Now I'd like you to place this smartphone somewhere in the room, but don't tell anyone. Don't tell him, and everyone will see it.
No, it's not, man.
Okay? Not too hard to find, I guess. Okay, did everyone see where it went?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, now I need 3 boys and 3 girls, so... And Raja, you 3, just stay there. And 3 girls? Okay, you 3. Oh, 5. You guys have to direct Akash to where the phone was. Okay, just by telling him.
Go straight.
No, you can't do it, you have to say where it actually is. Okay? Do you guys know where it is?
Yeah.
Do you know where it is? Okay, go. Just direct him.
Straight.
Including the phone to Rada. And put the black back on your face. That's not good. Okay, Rada, now do the same again. Place it where everyone in the room. I can't stop seeing. Everybody know where it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the first case, everyone was telling the same way to go. Yeah? Now the boys... Okay, this group give them the wrong advice, and this group give them the right advice. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Everyone get involved. Shout.
Yeah, listen to the girls.
sit down, thank you, big round of applause. The point that I was trying to prove is that in which case was it easier for him to find the phone? Same way. So how often in life do you feel when you sit down to do something, when you study or something, everything's focusing you towards studying? Anyone feel like that ever? No. Which was more realistic, the second one or the first one? Second one. We're always bombarded by distraction, where our mind brings up things, where we're getting on our phone, anything like that. So,
Should I get Shyam's phone?
No, leave it there.
you can leave it, it's up to you. Okay, so has anyone seen the film 21?
Yes.
Okay, fine. We don't have to see the film to know what the clip's about. You just play the first clip. So we're going to show you the first clip. Just try and understand what the characters are going through. And if you didn't like to see people do it, he was against it, everyone pushing him to do it, but didn't do it. And at the end, he got influenced to do it. So I just want to see a few thoughts. What kind of things influenced him to do it? What influenced him to change his mind? Anyone for that? The girl. Oh, that's one. Anything else? Money. Anything else?
She said you went when he was alone.
Fine, that's a good one. That's really good point. Any other points? Okay, great. Is that what you want to do? That's what I said. Yeah, fine. These are really good points. So the girl influenced him, the people, the money, all of these things. But I think we can go even deeper than that and understand why does he want these things? So why does he want the girl to like him? Why does he want the money? What other influences are there in his life before this event that led to him wanting these things?
The money he needs to pay for Harvard medicine.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So that's about the university. Anything else? You don't have to know the film for the rest of the points. Like,
The car. He wanted to make a car drive.
yeah, but as in what was the influence?
Can't pay for it. His experiment, so
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Okay, fine, that's also good.
So like his friends,
What do you mean? Can you explain it a bit?
like he wanted to like please his friends by like I said, by sitting back and helping out with the car.
Okay.
But so if he got the money to be able to like budget for the car or something like that,
Yeah.
please his friends.
Okay. And anything else? Yeah, fine. That's a really good point. One other point I had was what influences people much of the time is the media. The media portrays this certain way that we should live our life. So he wants the money, he wants to go to university for certain reasons because he's got family pressures, he's influenced by family, he's influenced by the media. Now when we're talking about influence, we're not necessarily talking about bad influences. That's just to make that clear. Some influences are good, some influences are bad. But we need to understand what influences us so that we can control it. So, like for example, there's a recent statistic that we were looking at, and an adult at the age of 65, can anyone guess how many TV adverts he would have seen in his life? An average American adult. Okay, million? Anything higher? So the answer is roughly 2 billion. 2 billion adverts they would have seen in their life. Can you imagine that much information going into subconscious, how that can have an effect on your mind? Like for example, what does that practically mean to us on a day-to-day basis? So when you sit down to study, when that song pops in your head from the radio, what is that? That's an influence that's come into your mind, it's sat in your subconscious, and then comes out. And it comes out at random points that we can't understand why. Like have you ever had a time where you're sitting and then random conversations come back into your head, or you see an advert and you didn't even pay attention to it, but you can kind of remember what the advert was, what they were selling to you, and how they were selling it to you. So we can understand that the problem with this is that the influences cloud our mind. They block us from achieving our real goals and what we really want to do. So for example, say if your goal is to study for an hour, right? That's a common goal, everyone does it. And the problem is that these influences will distract you so much that you can't complete your goal. You want to have a great conversation with your friends, but then you get your BlackBerry out and there's always things to distract you. Right? That's a common thing, everyone has that. So in the next clip, we'll see what how bad these influences can lead to. We may think that small influence of TV adverts is a very small thing, but there's some examples in history and science to show us that even a small effect can have a great impact at the end. If you just go to the next clip. Before you do that, so before we do that, in the film he said to the girl that he was only going to do this to pay for Harvard Med School, which he needed £300,000 for. So when he needed £300,000, he said, after that I'll definitely quit. Okay? So just keep that in mind when you watch the next clip. Counting cards. He made the decision that he was influenced by the girl, by the car, by the money, all of these things. And now what's happened to him? Any thoughts? What is he feeling right now? What's the money? Anything else? He's possessed by an idea. He's possessed by the lifestyle he's living. He's lost all of sense of his intelligence that he wanted to do it for the money, for university, and now he's just doing it because he thinks he likes it. He's been taken over by this concept, by this new lifestyle that he's got, and he can't let go of it, even though it's going wrong in his face. And see, we may think that's a very weak argument because it was such a small influence, and maybe he was going to do that anyways. But for example, in 1950s, Marlboro, you know Marlboro, the cigarette company, they basically made an advert which was orange and it had a puzzle shape on it. And they were doing that because they realized that people who smoke, their kids generally watch TV. So when the kid watches that TV, they associate the orange and the puzzle with happiness. So they associate that happiness with Marlboro. So when they grow up, they'll be comfortable and happy buying that product. Such a small influence, and then millions of people will start smoking because of it. Can we see how small influence can have a big effect? So the Vedas explain how the function of the mind is to accept and reject. So a thought will come in, and the mind has a choice. Either I go for it or I don't go for it. But in between the mind and the thought is the intelligence. So the mind is described like being a castle. It's a castle of yourself. And it blocks anything from coming in. And the intelligence is like the guard. It will discriminate whether it's allowing something to come in or not. Does that make sense? So like say this thought comes in, okay, I want to count cards. Now your intelligence has the opportunity to discriminate whether that's good for you or bad for you. And then the mind will just accept it or reject it based on the intelligence analysis. But so then we can see that it's very easy, if your intelligence is strong and the guard's not strong, it's very easy for these influences to come in. But I'm not trying to say that with this in mind, we shouldn't think that the media is an evil machine that's force-feeding us ideas. Because at the end of the day, it's always up to us, what we want to take in and what we want to block out. That's our choice. If we want to block out certain influences in our life and we want to take certain positive influences out, that's our choice. So we can't really blame the media and think they've robbed us of everything we've had in our life. And everything we're doing is because of them. Because it's also down to personal choice. We heard it next time. So now that we understand that this can have a serious effect on us, I've got a really interesting exercise. It's the last exercise we're going to do. And I need everyone to close their eyes and get into a comfortable position. And I can see if your eyes are closed enough, the mind will be open. Okay. Close your eyes. Everyone comfortable? Okay, now just try and think. Now you're standing on a road and you're walking across this road. Now just try and think of what the road looks like. It doesn't have to be a road you've remembered before. And think of what's on the left and the right of you. And just keep walking. Keep walking. Now you see a cup. Now think about what that cup looks like. Keep walking. What do you do with that cup? Okay. Now keep walking. Move on from the cup. And now you see a key. What do you do with that key? Okay, just keep walking, and you come out. That's it. Okay? Does anyone want to share what their road looked like? Without any cars, big black road. What was on the left and the right of it? Shops and? Nothing. Okay, interesting. Anyone else? Yeah.
I was like a country lane back in Wales. You know, there's so many country lanes. so with trees on either side, with the woods on either side, the big bank.
And okay, fine, that's great. And
just a long straight road, pretty much empty, and there's trees on either side. There's a bus stop on one side.
Bus stops on either side.
One side on the left.
And on the opposite?
There's no one on the no cars there.
Okay. And what can you see at the end of the road?
He just goes on.
You can't see the end of the road. And yourselves?
We were windy.
Windy, so you can't see the end of the road. Straight. Anyone else want to share? Okay. So basically, the road represents where you're going in life. So for example, if your road is windy, that means you've got you may have a lot of indecision in your life.
Oh my god.
If your road is very straight, you might be narrow, you might be very focused, you know what you're doing, and things on the right and the left often represent choices in your life. So sometimes, yesterday we did this at university, and someone on the right had a palace, and someone on the left had a jungle. And so he has a choice what he wants to do after his education. So like that, these different choices are there. Okay? We'll move on. Next, what was your cup like? Anyone want to share their cup? Anyone else? Okay, it's a plastic cup. So what did you do with that cup? You kicked it. Interesting. Yeah, anyone else? Yeah, right.
It was like a golden chalice.
Okay. What did you do with the
I kind
chalice?
of looked at it and I picked it up and kept it.
Okay. Anyone else want to share? Okay, go to share. So basically, the cup represents how you view love. Okay? And thirdly, we move on to your key. Anyone want to share their key? Okay. And what did you do with the key? Kept it. Anyone want to share the key? House key. What did you do with it when you saw the key? Okay. Anything else? Left it. Okay. So the key represents how you view education. So some people have, one of my friends at university yesterday, he had a small golden key and he said it unlocks big locks. For him, that's how he views education. So he thinks that it's a small tool, but with it he can do many things. Does anyone want to share their whole experience, and I can try and we can try and figure out what it's saying? Anyone want to share? Anyone brave enough to share it? Bishop.
So I had a long road and a desert either side.
Yeah.
And there was no end.
Okay.
And I had a mug.
What was your mug like?
One?
What was your mug like?
It was a glass mug.
Okay.
You know, one of the long ones, not like a yeah. So then, not a short pair. Now I was walking along, swinging it, but I held on to it. But I didn't pay much attention to it. But I did hold on to it.
Okay.
Then I had a little small bronze key.
Okay.
Put that in the cup, and I heard it swinging, making noise. I just kept walking along.
Okay. And so what was at the end of your road?
No.
You couldn't see the end of the road. So that can often mean, and on the other side is desert. So that doesn't represent a choice. That means that, in one sense, it could mean that your life is kind of set for you right now, and you're just playing the motions. Make sense? I don't know if that relates to you. I'm not saying this is 100% correct, but I think this has some truth to it. Anyone else want to share? What?
No, man. So that's it. Windy road, trees on either side. My mug was like one of those mugs that one of the the Casey shirt mugs, and the key was like a house key. I can't remember what I either burnt it or I threw it off the floor, and I mean the key I just kept it.
The key.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Casey sock mug may represent, because that's if you love, that you love Krishna. I'm joking, that's not very the windy road represents that there's a lot of decisions you're going to take in your life, and that they can, each bend is another challenge you're going to have to face. So I don't know if you've got many exams coming up, or if you've got like, people who are bullying you at school. I don't know.
I am bullied.
So maybe they're going to come back and punch you. And the forest on either side mean that that's just your life and it's mapping out and it's going towards those challenges. And the key in I can't comment on really because there's not enough detail. So that's all right. Anyone else want to share? What did you do with the key? You kept it. That's very interesting. So you had shops on one side and nothing on the other side. So that can often mean that you've got a choice in your life now. That you can take something very attractive, or you can do nothing. Maybe there's an opportunity that's going to come in your life. And the motorway means that it might be coming very fast. Okay? With the key, it shows that you value education a lot. And you keep it and you harness it. And the bug, what was the bug again? So maybe you like going to the bug. That's all I can comment about. Anyone else? Any last take? Yeah.
Mine was just a straight road with two pavements, and there's nothing beyond the pavement.
Okay.
My cup was like, you know, those American style plastic red cups.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I threw stones in it, and then I walked off.
Okay.
And then my key was like a silver, like old style key, and I like put a string on it and then put it around my neck. And,
Okay. And could you see the end of your road? There's nothing. And was there like, were there a lot of clouds at the end? Was it misty? Is there anything, any indication? All clear.
Yeah.
Okay. And on the other side was what again? A pavement.
Yeah, pavement in the night.
So that can mean that this is straight road, right?
Yeah.
The straight road often means that you know where you want to go. You understand your path you want to take, and the pavement on either side is indicating that there's, I don't know if it really applies. It's indicating that choices are mapped out for you, and whichever one you take will lead to a certain destination. But we don't know that certain destination yet. It doesn't look like it's a specific challenge, more that it's a natural progression in your life. The stone, the cup in the stone, may indicate that's something that you're not looking for right now. So you're not really worried about it. And the education could mean that you put it around your neck. That could mean that you enjoy having that education and the skills and being able to use them. I don't know if this applies. I'm not claiming to be some psychic guru that can do this kind of stuff. But it's a very interesting exercise, and we can understand. See, if I ask you about a key, if I just asked you about a key, you probably wouldn't have thought of the key you thought or the road you thought. But because in our subconscious mind, there's so much information that with certain techniques you can extract it. And this has been influenced by many things, your desires, your adverts, you see everything. And I like that, and then you can see what someone's life can come out to. So, I think it's important to understand how you can control these adverts and these influences that control you. So the Vedas give different spiritual techniques, and there's 3 principal techniques they give. And they're all underlined by one principle. Alright, go back now. Okay, so one technique is to reduce the amount of influences you subject yourself to. For example, if you're working and you haven't got your phone in the room, can you work more or less? Simple example. So if you reduce the amount of influences you're subject to, you have more space to think, you have more space for your mind to be creative and do what you really want. That's one principle. Second principle is mantra, is chanting. Anyone chant here on a regular basis? That's good. So chanting allows the mind to become more focused. It clears these influences and thoughts from the deep subconscious mind and allows you to think about what you really want to do on a regular basis. And I think you can ask many people who've done this chanting that after they do it, they feel they can focus a lot more. And they can be more with any activity that they want to, whether it's talking to a friend, whether it's working on coursework, whether it's anything, good or bad, whatever, you can be more focused and alert. And the third technique the Vedas give are reading spiritual literatures and discussing higher topics. And the reason for this is that because it uses a different part of the intelligence. It trains the intelligence. Remember at the start we said that the intelligence is like a guard, so it blocks these influences from coming in. So by doing this, you can sharpen the intelligence and make it stronger so that when this influence comes next, you have the ability to discriminate. Is this good for me? Is this bad for me? And before the mind can have access to it, you can reject it or accept it, whatever it is. That makes sense? And underlying all of these is the principle that the mind must be engaged. The mind is always on. Even when you're sleeping, you're having dreams, right? Anyone dream? Everyone dreams. So dreams are an indication of how the mind is still active at night and when you're sleeping. So the mind must always be engaged, and the Vedas talk about engaging it in a higher purpose, because that allows you to connect to a higher energy. So if you connect to Krishna, Krishna can change these influences and he can help you do what you really want to do. The whole reason about this talk that we came up with was the next quote, and it's from a Spiritual Warrior book. It says, "If we examine our lives, we will discover that we feel happiest in our spiritual journey. We fully absorb our minds in a project or a plan as an offering. We will have the ability to harness the mind. We should select a goal which we can place all our energies. Considering the power of the mind, we have to somewhat trick it in order to engage it in devotional culture. If we do not engage it, it will engage us." The point that's trying to be made is that if you can engage your mind in something higher, then you can have full ability to use all of it. Everyone understands that we don't use all of our brain, all of our mind. That's a very common scientific fact. But the ability to engage it in something higher allows us to use more of it and access more of our mind. And I think many people in the room are doing that on a regular basis. And by using these spiritual tools, by engaging the mind in different activities, you can really feel a sense of happiness, because this allows you to do what you really want to do. It gives you that, and beyond it all, even if you don't necessarily feel the effects straight away, you can understand that by doing something together, like different people do different projects like running retreats or running jammings, you can feel you build a lot of friendships, you learn a lot of skills, you have a great time doing it, and by that you can actually gain genuine happiness. And the proof is in the pudding, as they always say. It's not me just saying, oh, I'm not just saying this to you because I want to stand here and say something. I actually think it can really help people. Like, doing this kind of stuff has really helped me, and I feel a lot more happiness out of it. So the same way I think you guys can be affected. So that's all I wanted to share today. I don't know if there's any questions, but yeah, thank you for listening.